Hello. Hello. Ah. Probably said, ah. No, NyQuil doesn't make me tired. It makes me loopy. Yes. No, I'm not loopy. I'm just here. I'm not loopy. I'm Abby. Silly.
Have you guys ever done a Segway tour?
I don't know what that is.
No.
What's a Segway tour?
You know what a Segway is?
You know, like a Segway?
The thing.
Is it like a train
It's
thingy?
got like two wheels that you kind of stand on. It almost looks like a pogo stick with wheels, and you kind of like lean forward and it
Oh,
goes.
yeah. I've never done a tour
I've
like
never
that.
done a tour either. I'd do one.
I would totally do one.
I would totally do one.
You know, I told
Brian would
Bailey
be a great
we're
walk
thinking
off.
about taking a break from Disney next year. And
Everybody gasp. Where's the gas? We need a gasp button.
and because I've really been wanting to go, and I said with what we just spent at Disney, we could have gone for 3 weeks. I would really love to go to Washington D.C.
Yeah.
That'd be a good place to do a Segway tour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I've heard it takes.
That would be so
I have
fun.
heard it takes 2 or 3 days just to go through the Smithsonian. I don't know how true that is, but that's just what I've heard.
Wow.
I would like
Because
to.
there's like 8 buildings, I think.
Really?
I'm pretty sure there's like 8 or 9 buildings. There's
Wow.
like American history, aviation, food.
I think that sounds like something that would be fun when I'm like 50.
Okay, I do have something that I think would be very interesting to talk about.
This is already in, man. Just
Yeah,
go.
we're just kinda going with it.
We're already in.
Yeah. But here's
It's like you've
here's
never
my
done this
thought.
before.
Because I was just at Disney World. I think it'd be so fun if they did a Night at the Museum movie where he's stuck in Disney World and all the characters from the rides come to life.
That would be
Okay.
cool.
You know?
Okay.
Like I think about some of the older
Like
stuff.
Night at the Park?
Like I think of some of the older stuff like Carousel of Progress.
That would be.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like Walt's, figure coming to life.
It's
or,
a small world coming to life. That's
Yeah,
a nightmare.
like Tiana's Bayou Adventure and the alligator comes to life. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
The only thing that's hard about that is those are real people. Like Ariel's real to me.
I was about to say, she's not real.
You can't make a movie about her being fake because she's real in my world. I thought
trying to
that
see how
your
many
search history
buildings-
said Will Smith. I was like, you've been searching
He's a
up the
big
Smiths?
Will Smith fan.
I'm a big. We did just watch. I'll tell you what's pretty funny. I don't know why Bailey got on this kick, but we just did watch all 3 of the Men in Blacks.
Yeah, I've
Been
not
a
seen
long
that movie,
time.
but
Those
I
were,
have seen
you know
those
what's funny?
movies.
They're
in like a.
they all held up. Like the first one, it's so crazy to think about. Like think about this gap. The first Men in Black came out in 1998, and
That's
the second
amazing.
one came out in or the third one, came out in either like 2009 or 2011. Think how long that is.
Yeah.
I mean, when did the second one come out?
In the middle, it's like 2003.
I mean, to put it in perspective, Abby wasn't even born when the first one came out.
I know,
No,
and they're
but you
great.
guys were.
I was trying to see. Okay, the Smithsonian
Brian was
Institute.
10.
The Smithsonian Institute has historical holdings of over 157 million items, 21 museums,
I think this knuckles kicking in.
21 libraries, 14 education and research centers, a zoo, and historical and architectural landmarks.
Wow.
Okay.
It's pretty big.
I can't imagine going on vacation and coming home and being like, let me tell you all the fun historical facts I learned.
Really? I'd like to go once, because there's the Bible Museum is there where they have some of the original codex pages.
Yeah, that would maybe be interesting.
Obviously the
We've
Washington
been-
Monument.
We've been to that one.
Have you?
I don't remember where all we went. I know we did that one.
Did you do a tour of the White House?
No.
Come on, man.
Can you do a tour of the White House at any time?
You have to sign up a couple months in advance before your trip because they have to do extensive background checks. But yeah,
Period.
so I don't think you get to tour every wing, obviously, but you get to tour a good bit of it.
You just get to go into their bedroom.
Hello, Donald. But I'd like to go. I'd like to go see the Washington Monument. I know other people may not get this way.
Yeah.
Like thinking about like seeing the Declaration of Independence and knowing like that's the handwriting of those men. That kind of stuff does give me chill bumps.
Yeah, patriotism. Wow.
No, but just like to think like that piece of paper is from
Yeah.
1887 or
Yeah.
1776. And like thinking like that's their handwriting. Like that is literally John Hancock.
Do we know that for
And-
sure? Like,
Yeah, it's the actual Declaration of Independence.
But do you think it actually?
Or the
but like, who
Constitution.
knows? Did they remake it so that they could actually put the other one like
They're all there. The Constitution's there. No, I mean it's supposed to be like the page of it.
supposed to be?
supposed to be?
Oh my
I don't
God.
We've
trust
all
anyone
watched
anymore.
National Treasure.
You guys,
We know what goes on.
There is you know, at night it does shoot under, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
Like it's in a glass.
It goes into one of those tubes in the Elf movie down into the
What?
it shoots out a tube in that basement in Elf. You remember?
When he's in the mailroom, all the tubes.
Yes, yeah. I was thinking, what room? But yeah, I guess it's on like a podium inside of a glass case, and at night the thing gets lowered underground.
That's pretty insane.
I know. Well, it's because it's the original document,
Yeah.
and they don't want to lose it.
Well, guys,
Like, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff does give me like chill bumps. Like to think like, oh my God, that's their hand. Like John Adams, you know what I mean? His handwriting is on the
Yeah.
Declaration of Independence.
And I even hate to admit, but this is making me want to watch National Treasure again. It's been a while.
yeah, those are good.
I actually don't even
I
know if I've
think-
watched National Treasure all the way through.
I think it's probably fair to say that may have been Nick Cage's best work. I don't know if there's a different Nick Cage movie I'd rather watch.
Ooh, you don't like Ghost Rider?
Actually, I low-key love Ghost Rider.
I even saw
we
Ghost
were in our
Rider.
community.
I
Listen,
couldn't.
we were in our community last night, and we like finished everything up, and so we were doing like desert island movies. We were going through like, what's your 3 movies?
Yeah.
And so everyone's naming their 3 movies, and Crystal's boys are there.
Okay.
And Ryder's, what is he, 11?
Yeah.
And Ryder goes, he goes, I can only think of 2. He goes, Back to the Future 2 and Ghost Rider. I said, what? Back to the Future 2 and Ghost Rider? Who are you?
Amazing.
He goes, that's a good movie, isn't it? I was like, yeah.
I just ironically just watched the Office episode yesterday of the fire
Yeah.
where they all sit in the parking lot and they do
Yep.
Desert Island.
Yeah.
And I actually watched a podcast episode of, I don't know what their real names are. It's Pam and
It's
Angela.
the Office ladies.
Yeah, the Office ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jenna Fisher. And
Jenna Fisher, yeah.
Angela.
Is that her real name?
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's Angela something. Anyways, you
Yeah.
know who I'm talking about. And they were saying they actually like didn't love that episode for a few reasons. And they said they didn't love that like Pam and Jim made fun of Dwight. Because you remember in that one scene, he's in his car
yeah.
and he's like listening, everybody hurts.
Yeah,
And he's like,
sad.
What are you gonna do?
I know. And then remember, he's like, you know what would really suck it to him if you quit? Like that would really show him. And then the scene where Pam says that she really does like Legally Blonde. And Jim's like, no, like we can't do that.
Yeah.
And she's like,
Yeah.
okay, I take it back. Anyways, I just thought it was interesting to hear other people's perspective because I
We
didn't
almost
really
watched
think
it the other
that.
night. I like Legally Blonde is a good movie. I think it's a good movie.
Do you know they're coming out with a new TV series
I know.
on Prime?
Yeah.
And it was really sweet. Reese Witherspoon posted the video of them. She sits in a room with the younger, what's her name? The girl that plays, like, what's the Legally Blonde character?
Like her name in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name.
Elle
in the movie.
Woods.
Elle Woods.
Yeah, Elle Woods. So anyway, she was like, she pulls her into a room and she like
Oh, the
sits
girl
her.
was like, wow. That
No,
one?
no,
Oh.
the actual main girl.
Okay.
And anyways, Reese Witherspoon, like, it's gonna be like her younger self. Elle Woods, like young.
Oh, it's a
This
prequel.
TV series, yeah, it's like before.
Oh.
On that note, well, no, let's go back real fast, but don't let me forget. Face Off was pretty good.
I don't know what that is.
That's a pretty good Nick Cage
I didn't
movie.
see Face Off.
Is it like a fighting movie?
No, but that's a pretty good Nick Cage movie.
Gone in 60 Seconds. Was a
Gone in
classic.
60 Seconds is pretty good.
I think most people don't like Nick Cage.
I like Nick Cage.
He's the Nickelback of actors.
He is.
People,
I would say the Creed.
People love to make fun of him, but they also love his
You know what I
movies
did
somehow,
watch?
So.
I did watch
Okay.
Long Legs with him. That was pretty creepy. And I watched it on a plane at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Are you
so it
talking
was
about Disney
dark.
Plus's Long Legs? The
The horror movie Long Legs.
Yeah, that's on Disney Plus now, and it looks like it's like
on Hulu,
new.
yeah.
Okay,
But
it's
yeah,
old.
It's on Disney Plus. No, it just came out.
Okay.
It's Nick Cage, and he plays this psychopath killer. It is.
He looks like that's a vibe.
It's insane. The way he looks in it is
I don't think I've even seen that.
intense. Hold on.
It's like brand new on Disney Plus. That's the only reason I even know what it is because it's like one of like the main
Okay.
like slides.
Yeah.
But I don't really know why you'd call. Oh, I should never have saw that.
Yeah,
Seen that. Seen
that's
that.
him.
That's Nick Cage.
That's Nick Cage.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, it's intense.
Why does he? I'm not gonna say that on the podcast.
I do love National Treasure.
I haven't seen National Treasure. Honestly, I don't even. The hard part is a lot of these movies came out between like 2000 and like 2015. And I didn't like TV until like 2018. Like you pretty much had to drug me to sit down and watch like a TV show. Like or like
I don't remember that. I remember Hannah Montana being pretty well received. I remember That's So Raven being pretty
yeah,
well
but like
received.
even those TV shows, those were TV shows like you watched while you were like dancing in your living room, doing something fancy.
I was like, we're not a screen family.
Yeah, we're not a screen family.
We're not a screen family. We don't do screens. We don't do screen. We're not a screen family. We're not like a screen. We don't do screens. We're like a screen family.
I just like didn't like movies unless it was at the movie theater.
Abby's like the younger sister from Mean Girl who's watching the music videos, but she's like
Exactly.
the whole time it's on.
If I can't beat them, then I might as well join them.
I've always loved TV movies.
Yeah, I know. But when a box of Swiss rolls sees you coming.
Yeah, box of Swiss cake rolls and the good. You know what? I've learned too how much how much I missed all the return of shows going episodic versus all dropping. Made me realize how much I missed that aspect of it. You know what I mean? Like
I hate it.
Like I prefer shows
Yeah.
being episodic.
I hate the word episodic. First off, let's get that out of the way.
Well, I do. I prefer that because, like, I remember we did a big when season. What was the last
4 or
season of Stranger
5?
Things?
Was it 4?
Was it 4?
Yeah.
When season 4
Yeah.
of Stranger Things came out,
Yeah.
me and Abby and my wife Bailey, we did like blankets over the windows, and basically from morning till night we watched the whole season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is great, but then it's like you've waited 2 years, and in 14 hours or 12 hours, you're done.
I know. There's pros and cons.
Like
'Cause on
I
one
like
hand,
it.
like you'll probably remember that day for the rest of your life.
Yes, but like
Well, that's the
Severance has been
thing.
great because Severance is going to go from
I had a good time.
Severance is going to go from January to March.
Yeah, and I don't like knowing like that much of my life has been filled with a show.
Abby's got so much going on. She's like in between paintings. It's like I'm always having to stop, watch an episode of Severance, go back to the book I'm writing.
No, like I'm saying like to me, like I like knowing like, okay, this show came out. We watched this in this season. I don't know, maybe not. I think the only way that I like it episodically is if it runs with the season. Like the actual season. Like I liked Only Murders in the Building because it came out in like August or so.
You mean seasons like?
Yeah, like seasons.
Like the fall,
With the
yeah.
seasons.
Well, I think anybody would have known what the hell you were talking about.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't mind them
Like
coming
if it's
out
a
like
Halloween, see that is one thing that has annoyed
that. But
me.
what happens is they come out with
Yes.
Only Murders in the Building in the summer.
Yes,
And I just want
Yeah.
to shut off all the lights.
what was it?
Watch
last
it for
year?
1 week.
Something came out last year.
It was.
Oh, it was 2 years ago. It was Ghostbusters, and they brought it out in July.
They've done it with a bunch. They did it with Ghostbusters. They did it with Wednesday Addams.
They did. It's like
Right?
those are Halloween
That's so
shows.
weird.
Put it out in
Wednesday?
September,
Yeah.
October.
They did
Yeah.
it with Only Murders.
and they did
Right?
it with something else that I wanted to watch. Oh, it was Beetlejuice. Came out in August.
Beetlejuice.
That's so strange.
It's so
That
strange.
is.
Like you've missed your moment to put that out in October. It's like putting
Yeah.
out a Christmas movie in June.
But that's what I'm saying. It can be episodic if it's like if it falls within like
Well,
if
that's
the
what
seasons
Severance
fall
is.
within the season.
It's winter.
Yeah, I like that. Some TV shows though, especially if they're not
You just want to know. You just want to know.
No, like some TV shows you can like Only Murders in the Building really hooked me. So like I was ready for the next week.
Sure.
Some shows
Yeah.
it's like if you guys don't keep up the momentum,
Yeah,
you're
I
gonna
get
lose
that.
a fan.
I get that.
Sure.
I just saw, which I'm pretty disappointed about, the next season of Rings of Power. Did you see that?
Oh
about it?
yeah.
They're taking like a 5-year jump.
I did sit there jumping in time.
I don't care
Yeah.
for that. What
you
I was
think-
going to say earlier.
Do you think they've got to have moon shoes to jump?
What? Abby, either we all need to be on NyQuil or none of us.
or none of us are on NyQuil. Because we're not going to find you funny if we're not high.
Guys, I am not high.
Me and Brian have talked about this alone, but we haven't talked about this on here or to you.
Okay.
Did you see where they cast John Lithgow as Dumbledore in the Harry Potter series?
Do you know who John Lithgow is?
I don't know who that is.
You will when you see him.
You will.
Did you also see where they're tossing around
Did
the
you
thoughts
see Daddy's
of making...
Home too?
He was the voice of Lord Farquaad in Shrek. Not
Yeah,
that-
Daddy's home too.
The more I think about it, the more I think he'll absolutely kill that role.
I do too. The longer I've thought, I have thought to myself that I think.
Did you see? Well, you guys don't care about this, so it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, he is gonna play a good one.
I think so.
Yeah.
At first, I was a little interested, but I showed them this, and this helped me out a lot. Is him with a beard?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
It'll be good.
great.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's like the first full casting they got for
Wow.
Harry Potter.
Did you see people are tossing around? I don't know if this is true. If it is, it'd be really
I
fun.
think I know what you're gonna say. And I think it's not. Go ahead.
That they want to cast Florence Pugh as
Oh no.
Rapunzel in a live action Tangled, but they want her singing voice to be Sabrina Carpenter.
Okay.
That would be.
You had me. Well, I don't understand because Sabrina's an actress.
And I don't know if it was that. I don't know if it was that they were tossing between casting Sabrina or Florence, or if it was that they were tossing between like casting Florence and using, because she doesn't have like probably a pure singing voice to do like a Disney character.
See, I
But I
feel
don't know
like
if-
I feel like they need
feel like
somebody. I know
Sabrina
it's
would
going to
be
sound
perfect.
weird, but I don't feel like either of them. When I think of at least the Disney one, have like neither of them have the body shape that like the girl from the animated movie does. I feel like she's kind of taller and lanky.
Well, the only nice thing is because they're both pretty short, her hair would look more exaggerated. Like the taller a
Sure.
person gets, the less overwhelming their hair is. Like Sabrina Carpenter with hair that wraps around her feet
That's
would be a
true.
big deal because she's 5 foot
Yeah.
compared to somebody who's like 5.
I did see where everyone is like saying if Catherine Hahn is not the evil stepmother, like they'll riot.
Oh my gosh.
She has to play
who's
her.
Catherine
oh my
Hahn?
gosh. She was.
We need a celebrity dictionary.
What was the show called? That
She was in.
I think I'm thinking of Catherine Zeta-Jones. Oh, she would be perfect.
Would she not be perfect?
Yes, she was in
Kill that role.
She was just in
What
the
was that
witch
show
one.
called?
Wanda.
Yeah, she was in
WandaVision.
WandaVision, but she also had her own where it was.
Yeah.
Can't remember what
I
her
didn't watch
Agatha.
that.
Agatha. I didn't watch
Agatha
it.
all along. Me neither. But yeah, she would be a really good evil stepmother.
She would kill that
I
role.
know.
Wow.
And then I think Chris who's the one who plays Star-Lord? Pratt?
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
I think he'd make a good Finn Rider.
Yeah,
He
the
feel-
only thing
I
is
think he feels a little old to me to be doing that now.
that's
For
the only
sure.
thing.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd like to see Jonathan Taylor Thomas play that role.
Listen, if they could bring Jay, and he's short. I have 2 short people. Bring JTT back.
He's got the hair for it and
He's
everything.
got everything.
Yeah, I actually there's not a lot of like new actors that I feel like have quite hit the way that like old actors have. I don't know. You know how like you remember like seeing like a Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
You kind of see him rise and you're like, he's gonna be like a big deal. Especially like when you saw him in Guardians of the Galaxy, things like that. You're like, this dude's gonna like
Yeah.
take
Well, once
off.
he got in shape, everyone was like, "Wait,
Yeah.
like we're gonna
Yeah,
start taking you seriously now."
remember that weird last, like one of the last seasons of
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec, where
Yeah.
it's like he was like built.
Because he
you're
was
like,
always like the funny chubby guy.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's like really in shape.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't
I
get
know.
Which would be a fun character to play, the funny chubby guy.
I've been playing that my whole life. I was made for that role.
But like I don't feel like we've had any actors that like to me have like hit quite like actors like that. Like people go crazy over Timothy Chalamet, but I'm like, I don't know if he's like as iconic as you guys are saying he is. I mean, he did a really good job in Willy Wonka, but I don't know why everybody still feels like a kid.
Yeah, because I'm also thinking about what's his name, Spider-Man. There,
Yeah, like Tom
Holland.
Tom Holland, yes.
Yeah, he's not done a ton.
Yeah, like none of the actors that I feel
Yeah.
like are big nowadays like have done. It
You
felt
know
like
what's
there
a
were
weird one
times
to
where
me
you see
is
an
how much
actor-
people are trying to shove Zendaya into stuff. Because first off, she looks like she's 12, and so every time she plays an adult, it freaks me out. And second of all, I don't find her to be that. Like she was the only character to me in Dune that could have brought that movie down a pinch. I mean, the movie is perfect. You can't really bring it down, but
I've not seen them.
I've not really enjoyed her as an adult actress. Like I don't find when that's the thing about Tom Holland sometimes. It's hard when someone looks like a child
Yeah.
to play an adult.
That's what I'm saying. They all look like children.
Yeah.
Even like I didn't ever watch it, but when Euphoria came out, it was like a big deal. And like all of the characters were playing like, from what I understand, like they're in high school, but they're playing these like really adult roles.
Yeah.
But like it just felt like too much.
Yeah.
Like your high
it's
school
just-
characters, everybody's doing all kinds
There's
of
a lot of
crazy
like
stuff.
young
Like
looking people, like even Timothy Chalamet looks sometimes like a kid. Like there are moments in the Bob Dylan movie, it's like, okay,
I didn't watch that one.
okay, but like in anything, even in I know in Dune, like he does fit the character. Like Paul Atreides is supposed to be this kind of like younger, smaller looking, dark hair, skinny kid. But like it'd be hard for him to play like to me, me and Bailey just watched, there were two like classic American movies she hadn't seen. So we watched Shawshank Redemption and then we watched Good Will Hunting.
Oh man.
I know, classics. And in Good Will Hunting, like Matt Damon, I think is only like 23, maybe 22, and he looks 35. Like some guys
Yeah.
can play any
Yeah.
character and they
Yeah.
look like an adult. And like I feel like a lot of actors now look like children still. Where like in that movie, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck look older. Like they
Yeah.
could play someone older.
And I don't know if that's like, I know they make there's like a lot of conspiracy theories about like our food and stuff or things.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's just like a lot of people look younger, longer. Like Timothy Chalamet has looked 12 for like
Yeah.
7
Well,
years.
I think too, they used to not use a lot of short actors. I find there's a lot more shorter actors.
Bring back tall actors. No, I'm just
Yeah, but I really feel like actors, like one of the things that will to make you an actor, you need it to be tall, you
yeah.
need it to be good looking, and like
Now
Timothy,
you don't have to be any of that.
Timothy Chalamet, I don't think is very tall, and Tom Holland's obviously not very tall.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that threw me off. I don't think that, and not to get on a Spider-Man rant again,
Here we go.
but the only thing that bothered me about them casting Tom Holland was just prior to that, we had gotten a movie with Andrew Garfield, and he was like super tall, super lanky. They had given us like a vision for the new Spider-Man. It wasn't Tobey Maguire anymore. It was like, it was going to be a
Yeah.
big deal again. People were going to love Spider-Man again.
Yeah.
And then they do 2 movies with him. And then they're like, we're going to start over. And then they're like, let's cast someone who's more of like 5'4".
I think they wanted somebody younger.
12.
I think they kind of were trying to go for Marvel's idea was to go for a teenager.
But that was what,
Yeah,
Andrew Garfield was in high school and he looked
In the
very
movie,
like
but he-
skater boy.
yeah.
He fooled me.
It was, yeah.
fooled-
It's just very interesting who they're casting and who they're using for movies now, comparative to who like they used to, like who they used to find to be like, oh, this is a top tier. You know what else is weird on that note? Does no one else find it super weird that Timothy Chalamet Academy Award winning, incredible actor, feels like a normal person, super artistic, has been in a relationship with Kylie Jenner now for like 2 years, maybe even longer.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like they're
News-
in a
news
really
to me.
high end.
All right.
But anyway, I just find it very strange that he is dating her.
Yeah, that is a bit
I don't
odd.
know what they would talk about, like over coffee or breakfast.
Yeah.
She probably would ask him like about the chocolate
And
factory.
she's super like they were doing, like, I don't know. There's just certain things you just don't expect from
He
people.
just looks like a boy, which is what's weird.
Well, that, and there's just things you don't expect people to do. Like they were doing this thing where they were talking about one of his movies at an award show, and they were like getting ready to honor him or whatever. And she's literally got her hand
I
on his
saw that.
back, and she's like rubbing his back, and like, I'm so proud of you. Like,
She's like,
it
"So
just
proud of you, kid."
It just feels weird that they're together. You know,
Did it, bud.
yeah, you did it.
She's like, go get him, little star.
We are such good friends. Anyway, we should probably talk about Severance because I feel like this is going to take a while.
There's a lot
Let's
going
get
on.
severed. Is that what you think it would be like for you?
That's what I was like when I go down the elevator. And I'm like,
I feel like you,
good morning, kids. What's for dinner?
this episode was pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes. I love how they totally faked us out thinking that he had been non-severed completely. They kind of totally faked us out in episode 3.
Well, yeah, they made it seem like
All of his
the
memories-
reintegration happened fully in that moment.
Yes, and it
then
hadn't.
2 episodes later, it's still not really happening.
Right. Yeah.
That-
it's not fully there.
I don't care for that.
Me neither, but I do have a new theory
Okay.
Go
that
ahead.
I've been waiting to share on this episode.
Go ahead.
I think that Irving is completely non-severed.
Okay.
Here's my theory. It's twofold. One, he goes into that thing to talk on the phone to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the lady that's living in Mark's basement. Who else would he be talking to? Who else would know him on the outside world like that and know if he's being like followed or being careful? And then when he goes up to the vehicle, you can tell he's getting ready to flip out of whoever's following him. And as soon as he sees Bert, he's like calms down. And it's almost like he knows, even though Bert doesn't know.
Interesting.
I think when they go on the Ortbo, he's completed the Severance thing. Here's my other reasoning. When she comes up to Mark to try to convince him to be non-severed, it sounds like what she's doing is severing, but it's not. When she convinces him to be non-severed, she says, "I've gotten better at it." How?
Yeah.
If Petey's the last person you did it on, how have you gotten better? Unless she's done it to Irving.
If Irving is reintegrated, I think it had to have taken place between season 1 and season 2.
I agree.
Because the end of season 1, when they flipped the overtime contingency,
Yeah.
and we see Irving's innie in his apartment, he goes and finds Bert's address.
Yeah.
And that's the only way he knew where Bert lived.
Sure.
So he couldn't have been integrated then. So it would have had to have happened since
It
then.
would have had to have happened.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it happened during the off time
Yeah.
when they were let go for that couple weeks because it was a little longer than we realized. It was like a month or so.
Yeah.
And that could have been too like what started it.
Yeah, him
Like what
getting let
started him
go.
wanting to do that is
Yeah,
going
well,
in.
if I'm let go, I
Yeah.
might as well go ahead and end my severance
Yeah.
and be So I'm wondering if he's reintegrated, and that's even maybe more how he knew that it was Helena and not Helly.
And that could be more
Maybe.
so how their outies, like throughout this season, how their outies end up knowing more than they would is because maybe he's going to start telling like Mark and stuff more.
Yeah, I am
in
glad
his
that he
outie.
left that little note so that they could find the
Right.
door.
Yes.
So I was like, how are they going to find that now that he's gone?
I know.
And them leaving that note behind the picture.
And we never end up finding out what that door is, right?
Well,
Is it
they
Mark that
called
has that
it-
weird like?
no, remember he goes to R&D.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl who works there, who used to work with Bert, is there. And she said, how did you find out about
It was like the export elevator. I
yeah,
think
the
she called
export
it.
elevator? and that's the door.
Yeah, but you remember somebody has a vision or a dream or something that they're in it. It's been all the episodes are like running together.
No, but in the intro, if you notice, at the end of the intro, Mark looks down that hallway into the export thing, and when it opens, it changes from Miss Casey to Helly.
Yes, I do remember
The
that.
intro. So that does happen in the intro.
And there's a beginning of one of the episodes. I don't think they show you what's in it, but you see somebody walking down.
This past episode.
Yeah, episode 5, I think.
So it was a guy you never saw his face. You only saw him from behind.
Yes.
And he goes and gets all those like dentist tools.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
And
then he
surgery
brings them,
tools.
or
Could be
surgery
surgical
tools.
tools.
And then he goes.
What if we just find
And
out
then he
that's
goes
the
back.
severance room?
Well,
That's so
that could be
dumb.
where they do the surgeries. Could be where they insert.
Yeah,
the
because
severance
doesn't he
chip.
go in and then he gets the...
He gets the tools and he goes back down that wing and he goes up the exports elevator.
Yeah, and then doesn't he meet a girl or something?
No, I think it ends there.
Yeah, it just ends with him
I think
getting.
it ends. He meets her earlier. He meets the girl from R&D.
Yeah, they're all like running together because there's... And also, I feel like it's been a while since I watched it. Like, I
Sure.
feel like I need to rewatch it before Tuesday comes because I watch it Thursday night and then by...
Sure.
Then, you know
yeah.
what I mean?
The podcast helps too because they kind of run through sequence by sequence. Don't listen to their podcast, listen to ours. But they've,
We'll tell you what they say.
we'll
Don't
tell
worry
you what
about
they
it.
say. Don't worry about it. But I'm wondering now if Irving has been reintegrated.
Okay.
Is my theory. My new theory for micro data refinement is I don't know what they're doing. I have no.
I just don't know like how they're gonna find a way to take down an entire empire with like 3 Audis. I want to know how, and it could just be that eventually more and more people are gonna gather together.
So I do think that. I think we need to talk about Milchick because I don't think. Here's my theory on him. I don't think he's going to be with Lumen very long.
Me neither.
And what I mean is like I don't think he's going to be on their side.
Yeah,
I
he
think
could be
he's-
an ally to the innies.
I think he's
while
about
still
done
working
with their.
there.
I think he's about done with them.
Also, I don't know what is up with Miss Wong not liking him. Like they had that weird thing where she was like, "Can I ask you a question?" And she's like, "You shouldn't do this." And he's like, "That wasn't a question."
But
You
she
know,
said
you
it
shouldn't
weird.
treat them like humans.
She
or
said, "Can I
whatever."
say a question?"
Yeah, can I say a question?
I found that
No.
weird too. That she's not because everybody's innies have still had like normal like language
Except for her.
except for her.
She
Can
did-
I
she
say a
does
question?
Can I say a question?
She's not an innie, Miss Wong.
No, she's not an innie.
But also, no Audi would say that either.
Yeah, but her language.
Nobody in the real world
would
one in the
say,
real
"Can I
world
say a
Can I
question?"
say a question?
Well, yeah.
say,
I mean,
"Can I
she's
ask a
odd. I don't
question?"
think that she's an innie. I think she's
Just there's something there.
there's something there for sure.
But yeah, she's very much anti. You can kind of get the vibe she's anti Milchick, and he does not trust her.
Well, I don't think, like from her perspective, with her saying that though, I think she was in the right from Lumen's perspective. Milchick shouldn't have been putting on.
Yes,
she
a
shouldn't
funeral.
have been doing that.
Yeah.
and so I think she was right, and I think he's kind of going AWOL
That
right now.
I think he's like, no, like these are people. We can't treat them like this.
Yeah.
Because I think in the beginning he's thinking like I think all the stuff he does in season 1 is just to keep them calm. I don't think he's like trying to ruin their lives.
Well, I don't know because at one point the guy says, one of the head guys there that they meet with, like one of the higher up staff, I don't know what his name is, the guy with the beard.
Yeah. the Icelandic dude,
Oh, Mr. Drummond.
Mr. Drummond.
Yeah, he does say, like I know that you know that if you succeed with this batch, pretty much that there's a promotion at the end of this.
Well, that and that
and so
if,
he's kind of implying,
not only that,
It's just if Mark completes Cold Harbor.
he said it'll be the greatest moment in
discovery,
history.
Yeah. So I don't know if
Greatest
it's as much
discovery in
about
history.
him caring about them as humans, as much as him trying to make them happy so that he can be in history.
I'm just so and this is why I do love the show.
'Cause if you were
I'm
convinced-
more confused now than I've ever been, and I love that about the show.
Yeah.
I love that it's doing that to me.
yeah.
I just also think that if he cared about the humans, he probably would have given them more information. I don't think he'd be trying to keep them.
I think Milchick is getting there. I don't think he's there.
I think he's.
I think it's like an onion. I think every episode
Yes.
they're peeling back a layer of him being faithful to Lumen and to Kier.
because here's the thing about Milchick is he's he's completely alone.
He is.
He doesn't really have any allies. He doesn't
No.
have allies with the innies or with Lumen.
And at first, I think he did feel something with Miss Cobell as far as being on a team.
Yes. He was a part of a team.
He was a part of the team at
something.
Lumen, and now he feels like, well, Mr. Drummond just gave me a bad performance review, so they hate me. I tried connecting with her name's not Ashley. What is it?
Natalie.
Natalie. I tried connecting with Natalie because they must have started at the same time. They keep alluding to that.
Something
they
like
they
that.
had the first. They started the same day.
Yeah, something's
at
going
Lumen.
on with them.
That's what they've always kind of alluded to because they're always like, look at where you are, look at where I am.
Okay.
You know, that's what they've always kind of alluded
And
to.
she's
So
like-
you would think she's like, I love the paintings.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's something there. There's something in that. Now I have seen some people, which I don't think they're doing this because I think it would be a cop out, and the other it's too big of a movie. But some people have had that they're doing kind of a Get Out model.
Yeah, Steven said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Steven said that.
Yeah.
But I think that movie's too big.
I also just don't think that it's. I don't think that they've. I
Too big
think
of a phenomenon.
Well, I don't think. I think that Severance is too unique to be like, oh, they're just doing what
Get
these
Out
people
did.
did.
Yeah.
I think they're doing something nobody's done.
that, and I think that
But
Get
like,
Out.
what could they do? That's what's throwing me off.
That and Get Out was advertised as like a horror film, a thriller.
for sure.
Severance has never been advertised as horror or thriller. So in order for this to go that route, they'd have to make it supernatural.
I think technically it gives, if you look at the genre on Apple, technically it says thriller.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I think Get Out is like horror.
Yeah,
Well,
it was a horror movie.
It's like supernatural.
But
They've
yeah,
never
I do think Mr.
hinted at it
Milchek-
being supernatural. I guess they could go that route because they've hinted at it being like cultish and
Sure.
religious, but
Yeah.
But you can definitely tell that Mr. Milchek is being his
He's
onion
coming
layers
undone.
are peeled
Yeah,
back. Yeah,
He is.
I just have a really hard time believing that all of the workers don't have like a version of being severed. Like, no, they might not be severed in the sense that they forget everything and they forget who they are, but I wonder if there has to be some level of like severance that has to happen in order for them to keep their jobs, like so that they kind of have like an internal NDA.
I don't know. Maybe
I don't know.
I don't know because Miss Cobell, you think they would have did that?
That's
to her.
true. She knew
I think they
everything.
would have flipped her Glasgow chip.
Yeah. Right.
I think they were gonna kill her. Not that was like in the recent episode.
If she would have walked in that building, she would have never.
They were
left.
gonna, yeah. That's why she ran.
Yeah.
They were gonna.
Yeah. They kind of loosely implied that like
You come in this
she felt
building,
very unsafe.
You're dead.
Yeah.
I did love I know I wasn't here and Steven was here, but in episode 4, the best line ever of Severance is in that season where Irving is drowning Helena, and when he finally pulls her up and she goes like, "Do it, Seth," and he goes, "Yeah, Seth, do it."
Yeah.
I love that line.
Yeah.
Like he's still himself.
Yeah.
Even when he's drowning someone.
That was one of the craziest. Episode 4 was one of the
The
craziest episodes
Orbo
yet.
will live in history as maybe one of the best episodes they've ever released.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I think what's hard is they're making it to an extent very like, they are making it feel religious
That's what I
with
want.
their
them-
like
that- I hope that's
storytelling,
real.
historical,
I hope that it keeps going down that path.
the whole
of
twin brothers. It's giving very like,
Keir's brother.
yeah, like
That was interesting.
that was a weird twist.
It's gonna come out that
What
he
if
killed his brother.
what if it happens that it's like actually Kier's brother that's like doing all of this?
And you know what else freaked me out was
It's
that
not Keir.
Was that was the blow ups, like the blow up dolls of them. Those freaked me out.
The ones that were pointing to the
Yeah.
exits and entrances
That
or
was
whatever
real
to whatever.
creepy.
They looked just like them. You could tell
Yeah.
they were like blow ups or whatever. But it
And I felt
was-
so stupid because they were like, "This is the biggest waterfall in the world." I'm like, "No way they believe that." But it's because their innies have never seen a waterfall.
been
They've
outside,
never been
yeah.
outside. Yeah, I loved that. I loved that Keir is making history like in his own image.
But I don't understand how people who are living in their Audis believe that. Like if you're an innie, I understand believing
Well,
that.
you know
but
what?
like
And that
Milchek
was-
isn't. He knows this is not the biggest waterfall in the world.
That was one of
It's
my.
all, it's all manipulation.
It's
though.
all
it's all mind
manipulation.
games.
And-
everything.
God, it's the
One
worst.
of my initial thoughts was
Oh,
because
stupid.
they're going to eventually have to tell us why Helena Egan would want to have with Mark.
Yeah.
They haven't really told us. They've implied it, but they
He has
haven't
nice
told
eyes.
us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's a big and she was always in the first 4 episodes pushing him to be intimate.
Mm-hmm.
And initially my initial thought was that she was doing that because she didn't really believe in all the Kier stuff. Like she didn't believe in the cult and that she just wanted somewhat of a normal life. And she thought if she went down there, she could be normal. That was my initial thought. Until in episode 4, when they're in the Ortbo, if you'll notice the morning before Irving starts drowning her, she goes back to the waterfall and she's looking at it endearingly like it's a piece of history. Like this is where Kier and his brother, like she looks like she actually cares about it there.
Yeah.
So it seems like she does care about like the Egan name and she does believe in who Kier is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just shocked that they didn't make that fire scene. Like, I'm shocked that they allowed her to be able to, like, disrespect Kier like that. Like, I'm shocked that they didn't, like, make her say, like, wow, that was weird or that was creepy.
I know.
The fact that she
Yeah.
went off so hard, like,
That's what made me originally
Yeah.
think, like, she doesn't believe any of this.
That was odd. That was very odd of her.
because I'd assume that they'd have said, like, okay, play the part, but, like,
I bought both
not
of
that
you
much.
that 4th
Yeah.
appendage for you for Christmas. I've got you a
a set
copy
of those
it.
s'mores.
Yeah, with Kier's face on them. We should do, when we do the finale episode, we should have s'mores with Kier's face.
Kier s'mores.
I'm just so like, we're which is pretty crazy. We're halfway through season 2.
I know.
We
Yeah.
finished episode 5. I don't have any more answers than I did before season 2 started,
Right.
which is insane.
We know more, but we don't know more.
Yeah, we don't really know anything more.
You know who I'm really intrigued by is Mr. Drummond.
Yeah,
Because the first time they introduced him, I thought he was like just like a bodyguard.
me too. Then
That's how they introduced
Then
him,
I
yeah.
thought it was her brother.
Yeah.
I thought it was first a bodyguard, then her brother. Now I know it's not her brother.
Although he did refer to her father as father.
As father.
I thought that was odd.
But that could be religious.
That could be cultish, yeah.
Because his name should be Egan,
Yeah.
not Drummond.
Maybe it is her brother.
But he's doing disciplinary things with Milchick, but he's also the one delivering news to Helly as if he's her boss.
Yes,
And so I don't understand his role.
Me
who he
neither.
is.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
wondering
know.
if he just speaks for Helena's father.
Maybe.
Like he's just
Maybe.
his voice, like his,
Yeah.
kind of advocate.
He's to him what Natalie is to the board.
Yes.
Yeah.
Natalie. Sweet Natalie.
So when she goes home, she's like, "I'll have a Big Mac, large fry." There's so much in their little. Oh man,
Yeah.
I just don't know what to do with it.
I feel like every other episode has been like a tell-all episode and then nothing episode.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like we learned a lot in episode 5.
Well, they finally kind of got away from the any outie thing. Remember the first couple episodes?
It was back and forth.
It was an any episode, outie episode, any episode, and then they kind of now have gotten away from that. They're back to kind of just full episodes.
Yeah.
But it's very intriguing. Anyway, it's just all so good. It's such a good show, and
10 episodes?
10 episodes this season. Last season was 9 or 8.
Yeah.
It was one less. I think it was 9 last season. It's 10 this one.
Gotcha.
And I guess Ben Stiller confirmed that they've already started the writing room. They're in the writing room right now for season 3.
Great.
That doesn't make me happy.
Well, it makes me happy because we waited 3 years
Yeah.
for season 2.
Like, I need to know everything.
So hopefully they at least get this one out next January.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're just writing right now. I think we're looking at 2
it's
years.
January. It only takes them a couple
Like,
months to shoot.
XOXO Kier.
Even if they could shoot in the summer.
I
Yeah,
guess.
XOXO Kier.
Well,
I'm getting close to getting a Kier tattoo.
I almost got Frolic tattooed on the inside of my hand right here. Mr. Drummond.
He has that, doesn't
He
he?
does. Yeah, right here on his hand.
does
Yeah.
he really?
Yeah.
The
You guys are really in it.
the Four Tempers are playing.
Mr. Drummer wears yellow underwear.
The Four Tempers are playing more of a role every.
Listen, that little
episode.
temper needs to sit down. That one in the field.
Have you noticed that though?
She needs to take a break.
The Four Tempers, they're being talked about more and more and more and more and more.
Yeah, they are.
But why? Yeah.
They're playing a bigger role every episode.
I'm wondering if they're going to introduce any of the other tempers the way they did Woe.
I know.
Like, are they
I wanna meet
actual
Frolic.
some kind of like spiritual like encounter being that?
Yeah,
that
was
Kier
Kier
had?
being real when he actually encountered them in that cave and that's where he
Yeah.
mastered them?
Right.
Oh, you know what we didn't talk about? We have not talked about this. Thank God we've not in this episode. Did you notice that they now have some kind of way to reset or balance or master the tempers? Because when Helena comes back and she gets in that meeting with Mr. Drummond, he tells her your tempers should be back to normal. Remember, he said your tempers should be
Yes.
reset or whatever.
Yes, he did say
That's
something. like
interesting.
So that's interesting that theirs can be reset or fixed or whatever. That was a very intriguing moment in the show where it seems like, because in my brain, that ties me to kind of like Scientology, where it's like, you know, you're trying to get clear, where you're
Right.
going clear.
Yeah.
And it's like somehow they can like manipulate the Four Tempers, at least within the Egans.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting.
You know what? I didn't remember this. So Katie and I just went back through season 1 again.
Yeah.
Just a couple of days ago, we watched the finale. And when Helena wakes up, or when Helly wakes up as her innie in the Lumen building before she gives that presentation, she has that conversation with her father in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And they start like reminiscing, and he goes, "Do you remember when I brought home the very first chip, like the very first prototype, and you were just a little girl?" And he said, "Do you remember what you told me?" He said, "You said I wish everybody could have one." And remember what I told you? And I said, like, one day they will. Like one day.
Yes.
And I was watching that, I was like, okay. So it does seem like total like control, taking
World
control of the
domination.
population
Yes.
is part of their plan. But
But if it's not
So-
cloning, I don't know.
I don't know if it'd be like cloning as much as controlling.
I need to be severed because
think-
this stuff, I think about this show all day and it's ruining my career, it's ruining my job, it's ruining my social life. I can't stop thinking about it. I think about it all the time.
it's,
It's the best show that's ever come on television.
I think I'd agree with
I
that.
don't know. It's like a crazy.
To me, it is. It really
Abby's
is
like,
the
I don't know,
best.
I'd take Gilmore Girls over.
Abby's like, have you ever seen Sweet Life of Zack
You
and
ever see
Cody?
Grey's Anatomy?
You ever seen Sweet Life on Deck, the sequel?
But if somebody came to me, anybody, doesn't matter who they are, how old they are, they said, give me one show,
You have to watch.
the highest, your most highest recommended show,
It'd be Severance.
it'd be Severance.
Yeah.
A 7-year-old boy comes to you and says,
A 5-year-old comes up and says, what show would you watch? Severance. Put it on. You know, it's interesting. I wonder if Mr. Drummond, he's got which one on his hand?
Frolic.
I wonder if he is one of the Tempers.
He doesn't seem very frolicky.
I know.
He seems more like
He seems
Dread.
more like Dread.
He's a bit scary.
Anyway,
he seems kind of like he's got a vibe.
he's got a vibe.
Like I feel like we'd be friends.
It's good to be back, though.
Yeah, I know. Welcome back.
Been weird.
Yeah.
Lots
Stephen
of people
played
have
a
been
good
sick.
Noah.
Stephen played the role of Noah pretty well.
He played the role of Noah. Yeah, we've been super sick. The fact that we're getting an episode out this week is amazing.
You were sick.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were because Abby's been super sick.
Yeah.
Apologize for my voice.
So we liked it. So
I literally just.
yeah, he was like, I've been on night. Anyway, couple things you could do that could make us millionaires. You could
Give
and
us
you
$1
could
million.
subscribe, and you could tell 40 people by next week about this podcast. Tell
Yeah.
40 people. What's 40 people in your life?
Or
Text
40.
Text that old friend from high school.
All your
Text your ex-boyfriend.
all your friends that you're talking to Severance about, just talk to them about Chinwaggers.
Yes.
And
say,
Chinwaggers talked about Severance.
well, Chinwagger's talking
Treat
about
this
Severance.
podcast like an MLM. Contact that friend you've not talked to
Yeah.
in 6 years.
Yes.
Say, hey, girl, been
Hey,
thinking about
girly.
you. Hope you're great. Also, have you heard of Chin
Have you heard of
We should
Chinwaggers?
catch up sometime.
We should
By the
catch up.
way,
I watched this show. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us. This was a great episode.
Yeah.